Alright, welcome to the Bascotie's channel. Uh, this is a game, a one-on-one game of R.U.S E. I am the blue side, Bascotie, and we have Goizuip on the other side. This is always a fun map above the river, but I found that if you can just cover the bridges and cover the forest lines against anti-air, then usually you're pretty set. But I think this was a pretty good game. It was really close, so let's take a look. I start off, I grab this supply depot by the city, of course the one that's closest to me, and I try to grab this one because in the beginning of the game I didn't realize how critical it was to get a good supply line going. I thought you grab a couple and then maybe build some administrative buildings later, but that didn't work out too well. It's much slower flow of money. So here I am. I started out trying to get my anti-aircraft and anti-tank guns out just to block any attacks. I'm gonna need some infantry too in case they get some infantry going. Plus I want to get my recons out. So I'm gonna forward it a little bit through here. Alright, slow it back down. So he's already building a base, as we see up here. Looks like he's sending out some decoys. Of course, I didn't know this because from my point of view, they all look like tanks. Okay, so I made my pushkas, some of my favorite artillery here. Uh, Always makes the enemies nervous, even if it's not very effective against their armor units. At the same time, I threw some infantry in the city here. This is really a great defense because only air recon can really see into a city. Otherwise, you got to get in there and have enough units to take out that surprise attack. Speaking of surprise attack, I mean, if you can hide enough defensive units in the forest, you can really hold off a threatening attack. So at the same time, I'm trying to send my infantry around this way, but unfortunately, he has some machine gun nests. Alrighty. So long range artillery is really helping against all these infantry units. And here I feel a little bit pressured, kind of pushing me back, but I'm going to send out some more infantry, get some anti-tank. I got some anti-tank set up here, which you see the surprise attack really kicks butt. I try to send these out in the open to see how effective they would be, and they survive, but later I found that just sending them out in the open like this really leaves you vulnerable to tanks. So I'm trying to build more supply depots. I guess you never have enough supplies. And I'm sending out a recon here, and if you look, he spent all his money and effort into building his base over here and trying to attack from this front, but he's left his main base completely vulnerable. If I can take out these machine gun positions, then I can overcome him from the other side. So I've also hid the recon here, take out his supply trucks. And really, if you can cut their supply lines, they're pretty much done for. Just have a good spread out defense, especially in this map because the river runs across the middle, so they only have 1, 2, 3 ground entry points. And in the beginning of the game, I tried to cover 1 and 2, which is the city here, which is a little bit less threatening, but you never know when they're going to send units through there. Okay, let's forward this a little bit. Alright, at this point I'm sending air transports to try to take over their base. This is my fault. I dropped them off too far, and then by the time I got there it was too late. So that was the end of the game. I guess he decided to surrender once he saw his base leave, getting destroyed, and all he had was his main base, which might have not been enough. If it was me, I would have kept going. You never know. But so that's it. If you enjoyed this video, check out the rest. Bye bye.